Welcome to another episode of Starseed Activations. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so incredibly much for tuning in tonight. So my name is Elle. That is short for Danielle Lipton. What I personally do is I channel the star people on ascension topics as well as evolution and metaphysical information. So we always start our channeling sessions by doing an Om. Now, an Om activates and opens your heart chakra system, which then in turn allows you to connect more to your higher self. It also puts you in alignment with a love-based frequency, and that frequency then starts to raise your biological frequency, but also allows for the channeling to become more clear and concise. So we just want to start out today by saying, thank you, dear star people, for this beautiful channeling tonight. Thank you so incredibly much for bringing forth the information for the people that is most in alignment with each viewer watching throughout time and space. Thank you, star people, for also energetically cleaning or doing a recalibration on each individual's energetic grid structures, dear ones. This is a form of light linguistics. This light linguistics is going to allow for a reprogramming of your cellular structures, allowing each of you to tune in to your highest potential timeline. Each of you now may take a nice deep breath in. And one more deep breath in. Beautiful, dear ones. We wish to talk about the solar energetics each of you have just experienced this past week. You may have noticed different perception changes. There is a new type of awareness that is currently on your planetary system. This type of awareness is leading each of you into more and more of a crystallized 5D nature. This process must be done in baby steps, for each of you are gradually on the path to learning love and light. When each individual starts to absorb a high frequency of love, and all thoughts, feelings, and emotions are properly recalibrated into unconditional love, it shall then allow for perception changes to manifest in your life. You may notice these changes come in a baby step manner. For each individual watching this video throughout time and space is guided by a star person rep. We are assisting humanity on such a grand scale level to help facilitate a type of evolution that has never yet been seen before. Each starseed on the planet has its own special team. That team allows for different knowledge as well as different energetic shifts to take place at different active parts of their life cycle in which they needed to have a small evolutionary push. And that's okay too. Many of these shifts were reprogrammed before you came to planet Earth, dear ones. And now we wish to also discuss certain extrasensory ability activations. Utilizing your words as a full manifestation power is key, for it shall allow you to start to activate your genetic systems and allow different perception shifts to fully manifest into your individual lifetime. Now we wish for each of you to recognize each of you is in a timeline bubble. meaning your frequency reflects outwards in a circular shape, and that reflection comes back to your soul form, and it generates the physical reality as you see it. It uses sacred geometric patterning to produce what is perceived to be the physical reality. However, dear ones, from our perspective, all we see is light. That light contains different frequency bandwidths. Those bandwidths can be changed or modified using the power of your consciousness. By accessing your emotion and thought grids, you are able to change those frequencies, which then start to reflect back at your consciousness differently. This is how mind over matter works. One such example would be telepathy. For telepathy is simply an emotion and a thought being broadcast from two locations which are quantum entangled. All matter, all light in your simulation is all quantum entangled. What this means is every single thing that you see, know, and sense is all connected at the subatomic levels. Beautiful, dear ones. Excellent. And if anybody has questions for tonight, the star people would like to take some questions. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. Okay, Nancy. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see what the star people say. They want me to have trust. This is like a trust exercise. In my head, it's like, what are we going to say? What are we going to say? So funny. Okay. I trust. Excellent, dear ones. We wish to talk about the heart chakra subsystem. Your heart gives access into time and space. This works with the manifestation process of reflections. By going into your heart, dear ones, it shall allow a two-way form of communication between you, the ego, and your higher self. When diving into the heart chakra subsystems, it shall be easy to radiate an emotion code. That emotion code may be energetically cast utilizing a thought. Summoning the higher self is key throughout this experience. The more you can flower open your heart chakra, the more and more you can start to coax the higher self into your biological form. This type of energetic bonding is of high value for each of you, because when you energetically bond your higher self to your physical form, it shall then allow you to access your highest potential timeline. Each of you may notice timeline conversions or timeline shifts taking place now. You may notice a deja vu. You may notice an item change color. You may notice a person outside of you, their personality may have completely shifted. This is because of timeline convergences. Different solar energetic shifts or flares, we may call them, also procure these different types of timeline expressions. In time, dear ones, you may start to see through the simulation. For the amount of frequency the you and I is able to encode is very small compared to what is actually in front of you. By allowing yourself to stay present in the now moment, and by choosing positive, love, life-giving expressions, you shall then ensure that you are shifting to your highest potential timeline. Shadow work is a must, dear ones, for the process of going inward and cleaning any densities, any distortions, as well as any traumatic imprints from your early childhood is key. When you go inside and you clean the darkness out, it then allows for each of you to summon more light. When more light is held inside of your energetic grids, it shall allow for new experiences, new people, new locations, or new food to be manifest in your life. Removing the darkness from inside also allows your density level to go very high. The more darkness that is removed, the more crystallization may be held inside of your body. While undergoing this process, grounding to Mother Earth is also of high value, for it rebalances your chi energetic systems and it allows a full recalibration of your thought grids. Your emotion grids are hexagonal blue and they stem from the heart chakra subsystem. Your thought grids are located inside of the mind. When both of these grids are put together, they form the memory grid complex. The memory grid complex is green icosahedron. Your memory grids contain all the memories of this particular lifetime, as well as your Akashic records as well. When different processes of meditation are facilitated, it shall grant the primary individual access into the book of records. This then will allow you to summon any frequency code from that book of records. This includes any memories, dear ones. For if you were a master architect in a past life or in a life from a parallel reality, you are able to then summon all of that knowledge through the process of download. An energetic download may at first seem like a bright idea, and that bright idea may completely wash over you, and then you may feel or sense all of the knowledge start to unpack or unfold. In time, when working with the memory grids, it shall allow for an instantaneous download, which will look like you having full knowledge of that complete life spectrum instantaneously in the now moment. Advanced record keepers are able to go into each parallel life or past life or future and download different memory grid expressions and hold onto all of them. This allows for a process of a true soul being to manifest, for it shall allow you to know your higher self in full when you know your past and future lives. Each of you also have a quantum codex. Your quantum codex contains the parallel versions of you as well as your higher self. It is one step higher than a regular Akashic records, dear ones. Beautiful. Each of you may start different processes of meditation, which shall allow you to cast your consciousness into the past. For the past and future is all existing right now in this very moment. When you access your past, it shall allow for changes or modifications to take place. This may not change your timeline that you currently experience, but it may also change the timeline that you are perceiving. When you open your eyes from that meditation, it shall then allow for any emotion codes to be ever so gently transmutated. This is also a process of healing, dear ones, for allowing your consciousness to go back into time and make changes or modifications as you see fit is key to starting memory grid abilities, as well as a full spectrum of time travel. You are able to cast your consciousness into the future as well. Many individuals on your planet may call this remote viewing. You may also access it through astral projection. Telepathic summoning of your biological form is also possible, dear ones. For each of you will, in time, learn to summon a future potential of yourself and then call back your biological form into that parallel reality. Each day, each moment in time is a ripple, as if it was a drop of water in a bucket rippling out. When you see or perceive a different day or time, it shall allow you to teleport your body into that moment. This process must be performed when your energetic grid structure is fully activated. Your 3 rings must be properly attuned to teleportation as well. Any fear will block the physical body from teleportation. Going inside and releasing any densities, any fears, as well as any traumatic events imprinted, shall allow for you to experience these types of abilities more rapidly, dear ones. Yes, beautiful. Okay. Let's see. I've been trying to find a balance between work, life, and sleep. With sleep being diminished, I feel like I'm sleep starved. What would you recommend? Grounding. So, just like the star people were saying, when we ground, it helps to rebalance the thought grids. Our sleep, we know the circadian rhythms are all connected to the pineal glands, and we know the sleep cycle has a lot to do with being earth grounded. So, I know that they do sell blankets. You could put a blanket on your bed, it plugs into the ground. And that's one thing that you can do. I would not try any stimulants. Maybe a cup of lavender tea, something warm might also stimulate it. Saltwater baths before you actually get into bed, and cleansing and purifying of any attachments that you have. The attachments can cause us to not be able to sleep, to wake up at night. Sometimes we wake up at, let's say, 3:30 in the morning. There's actually a starseed reason for that. There is a form of recalibration that takes place around that time. That is when the veil between the living and non-living becomes very thin. So when we wake up constantly at 3:30 in the morning, it is because we are meant to drop back into a meditation as soon as we wake up. So wake and back to bed is always going to be absolutely amazing for any type of meditation abilities, because it really allows you to astral project, to remote view, and to just dive in deep to any of these types of meditations. Now, we are able, dear ones, to summon an energetic from your higher self. And your higher self is able to give different healing frequencies directly into your biological form. There is a 3-note harmonic that must be properly pulled down from the higher self in order to rebalance any biological organ or skin, hair for that matter. When going deep into meditation and allowing the higher self access into your system, you shall then allow the higher self to broadcast an energetic frequency of unconditional love into your body, which then will instantaneously heal whatever it is that needs to be healed. However, the higher self is always in full control of this process. Your higher self may want you to go through a baby step healing process, and that's okay too. The more and more you focus on higher self activation, it allows the higher self to coax down more and more into your body. The 3 notes included in a healing facility are a 11th harmonic, and they must include your binary codex frequency, your location frequency, and your experiential frequency. These 3 frequencies must radiate down from the higher self into an 11th harmonic and radiate into the physical form, which then allows for the spontaneous healing to manifest. There are multiple ways to manifest this, dear ones. Utilizing your language and being thankful for the higher self, fully allowing this type of 11th harmonic to take place, shall start the process of allowing this to manifest into your physical reality. The lighter your density levels, the faster your manifestations. So going in and healing yourself is always recommended first. It is truly a necessity, dear ones. Beautiful. Each individual is also able to summon an 11th harmonic for any plant or animal. Now, of course, you may say person as well, but their higher self must be in alignment to receive. If their higher self is not in alignment, there may be a life experiential lesson waiting for that consciousness to experience. And so it may not be allowed. And that's okay too. Any and all energetic castings, you must always be okay with whatever manifests. There is a process of releasing resistance that each of you must learn to master. Releasing resistance means placing your life in your higher self's hands. It is releasing any attachment to the physical reality as you know it. Different attachments are emotion codes. They are experientials, but they may also, from a human perspective, they may be considered an item that you cannot live without. Releasing these items is of high value. For each time you overcome an attachment, it allows that aspect of your energy grid to open and activate more light codes. The more light codes you are able to summon, the more you are able to access a form of light linguistics, which allows for advanced programming of your subsystems. We usually instruct each individual to start this process by pulling down emotions of bliss, of love, of authenticity. But there are higher frequencies, dear ones. Unity consciousness is a higher frequency than authenticity. Each individual may start the process of asking your higher self for a very high frequency of love. Allowing your higher self to gift you this emotion code is going to then allow more summoning of that emotion. The more and more you can imagine or visualize that emotion, the more you can feel that emotion radiating into your body, the more and more you will step into the timeline in which you are holding that emotion. Beautiful. Emotional casting may also radiate from the physical body. You may pull down a very high frequency and radiate it out your physical body, which then has a ripple effect on all individuals outside of you. When you send love and light to people outside of you, it then in turn allows those individuals to feel better. They may feel lighter. They may feel more excitement. This is how humanity was originally designed to work. For the more and more each of you can start to consider each other more than a reflection, but more like a brother or sister who needs unconditional love in their life for them to fully heal, the more it shall allow for massive changes to take place in your civilization. Each of you may also start a process of recalibrating your biological water. By pulling these high frequency emotion codes down, it shall then allow you to reprogram your waters at the cellular levels. Before ingesting or bathing in any water, if each of you choose to do a manifestation over the water, allow yourself to radiate a very high frequency of bliss and allow that frequency to wash over the water. This will start to program the memory grids of that water, which then in turn will reflect back into your cellular structures. For water is absorbed through the skin as well as drinking. Reprogramming water is one of the more rapid ways to assist in your healing and ascension journeys. You may even reprogram water and share. Beautiful, dear ones. Excellent. Okay, do we have any advice on how to unblock the sacral chakra? Does this also have to do with something with the inner child? So, your sacral chakra is more focused on relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, marriages, things of that nature. It's truly the chakra itself is something that when we're young, like a child, baby age, we learn who the people around us are the second that the eyes start to focus and we get to see. And then we recognize the people that we know and we trust. That starts to build your sacral chakra inside. The second that we have any type of trauma with friends, family, relationships, the sacral chakra can slide out either to the left or to the right. And so the first thing we do with any and all of the chakra systems is we take them and we push them right back in the center of the body. And then what we do is we rebalance from front to rear. This is something that we do during the Shadow Work Zoom. After the lives, I host a absolutely free Shadow Work Zoom. Every time we have a live, we do the Shadow Work Zoom for the most part. And what we do is we do a recalibration of the energy grids. And the star people are ever so gently saying, dear ones, we wish to do a full chakra recalibration on the video now. If each of you can take a deep breath in, imagine and visualize a red color outside of your body. Any density, any distortion is ever so gently removed. We are now realigning your root chakra so it is directly in the center of your body and properly flowing from front to rear. And now, dear ones, allow that red color to ever so gently shift to orange. Any density, any distortion is ever so gently removed. We are recalibrating this chakra directly in the center and properly flowing from front to rear. It is okay if you feel heat or tingles. It is okay if you have chills going up your spine as we recalibrate each of you. We know who you are, and you are safe and loved. And now, dear ones, allow that color to change to a bright yellow. And as we tune into the solar plexus, we also generate an energetic cord between your sun connecting into your solar plexus. Any densities, any distortions are ever so gently removed. We are rebalancing your chakra so it is properly sitting in the center and free flowing from front to rear. And now, dear ones, allow that yellow color to change once again to a brilliant green. Imagine seeing the rainforest, the monkeys swinging in the tree, the tropical birds flying above your head. A gentle mist just touches your face ever so lightly as a little butterfly lands on your shoulders. Allow your heart to open and expand. Allow it to feel unconditional love for Mother Earth as she loves and nurtures each of you. Any densities, any distortions are ever so gently removed. And we recalibrate your heart chakras, dear ones, into the center and correctly flowing from front to rear. And now this color shifts to a brilliant blue, connecting into your throat chakra systems. And we just wish for you to imagine Mother Earth's oceans. See the dolphins and the whales jumping to try and play with you. See tropical fish swimming amongst the coral. And see the mermaids gently swim by and wave. Any densities, any distortions are ever so gently removed. We are recalibrating your throat chakra systems directly into the middle and free flowing from front to rear. Allowing your communication to be enhanced with the star people. And now, allow that blue color to ever so gently shift to a purple. Any densities, any distortions are ever so gently removed. Allow your pineal gland to open and access the astral realms, which is your birthright, dear ones. Allow yourselves to activate remote viewing, astral projection, telepathy. And as we rebalance your pineal glands directly in the center, free flowing from front to rear, we also rebalance all of the head chakra system. Any density, any distortion is ever so gently removed. Now, allow a beautiful white light of unconditional love to fully surround you. Allow this warmth of love to fully radiate through your skin. Any energetic imprints or traumas are ever so gently removed. And just allow yourself to come back to the now moment. Taking your time. And just allow yourself to wiggle your fingers and toes. Allow your body to wiggle a little. And we just say, thank you, dear star people, for cleaning and clearing everybody's energetic grids. Beautiful. Okay, excellent. So Nancy says, please explain the 11th harmonic. So we have a frequency. That frequency, let's say we take the letter A on a piano keyboard. So we know that that letter A is in one octave. We have to go 11 steps up to the next octave to have that note, but it's 3 notes, star people are saying. So an 11th harmonic, or those 3 notes combined together, it generates a chord. When we pull down that chord then starts to heal the body. Yes, it's beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Let me have a sip. How's everyone doing tonight? Okay. Okay, receiving light codes. Is there a way to decipher their meaning? That was one of the questions we had come in a couple weeks ago that we didn't get to do. Well, channeling, really. Some people do light linguistics. They write down little squiggle marks, or they channel, they may speak in tongues. It's all really frequency. So the way that each of you may start to translate light linguistics, dear ones, is by learning your emotions. Your emotions inside of you, you may start to feel or sense now. The way that we instruct individuals to start this baby step process is to feel the emotion of being happy. How does that make your body feel? Now feel the emotion of sadness. I didn't want to say it. I was like, I don't want to say a dark word. It's so funny. They were like, we're going to say it. Okay. Feel the emotion of sadness. How does that feel inside of your body? Now, the second that we take the full emotional scale and we start to learn how all these emotions make the body feel, it goes 10 levels deeper, because the second that you actually do the energy clearing and work inside of the body, and I'm talking like sit down and cast energies for 2 or 3 hours a day if you can. So clear your friends' chakras, right? Feel into their energy grids. This is what I do during my sessions. I sit down, I clean off people's energy fields. And from doing that, how many hours a day for over 2 years, now when we summon different emotion codes, you can feel the energy shift inside of you. And when you feel it shift, it's kind of like an aspect of your energetic grid lights up. You can feel the body when triggering that emotion code. And that goes right into, let's say, your body movements. So we do different types of yogas, and the yoga actually pulls different emotion codes in. So yoga is a form of emotion summoning. Each body movement triggers different emotions. It's different frequencies that we're triggering. But you could sit in a chair, you could summon an emotion, you could feel it. Now, this is really important, because when we start to talk about attachments, so we have different attachments. The attachments are in the body. The attachments all contain emotion codes. The star people have been telling us those attachments latch on through the star field. The star field is the meridians and the ley lines, and where they cross, it makes a little X. That center vortex energetic is a star in your star field. When that star field becomes imprinted with a trauma, we'll just consider it opens a door and allows the attachments to latch onto us. So the way we clear them is feeling the emotions, because that emotion reflects into the energy grids, and that's where the attachment is allowed to latch on. So when we start to summon the emotion codes and we can start to feel it inside of the body, that's your internal circumstances. The internal circumstances radiate out to the energy field, and then it starts to touch into the star field. So we have to go inside and we have to feel the emotions. What emotions do you feel when you are summoning? Now, summoning, we could summon so many different emotion codes. It's every single emotion that you've ever experienced, as well as experientials. So an experiential is what the star people refer to as an experience code. So an experience code, an experiential, is truly you're having an experience. Imagine all of the emotions that you triggered during that experience to manifest. And so what emotions did you trigger throughout that entire experience? So we want to summon our experientials. What's it, maybe not all, but the bulk of them for right now. What's all of the ones that need to be cleaned up so that we can clear the experiential totally? The way that we do that is we cast off the attachments, right? So we say, you could say release, or you could say get off and go home. Either or is fine. They both work. When we cast off the attachments, then we want to love and light the grid so it seals the star field. Alcohol, 1 drop, unfortunately, opens all of the star field, and it allows the attachments to latch onto us. These are, once again, they trigger the fascial system. So we have like a nervous system underneath the skin, and these emotions trigger and they hold, they imprint in that system. So many times we see people doing different types of acupuncture, or they do what is that called? What's it called? She's laughing at me. It's a massage, she's saying. Thanks. It's a massage, but it's like deep tissue massage, and that's because you are pushing into the imprints and removing the imprints. The more you can start to release the imprints, the more those emotions come up, and the more we release the emotion. You can also use magnets. So all healings are really cheap by design. This is a way, the source frequency or universal God, whatever you guys choose to call upon, this is the way the system is designed. If we need to heal, we can use the earth, we can ground, we can get more sunshine because the sun heals us, and we can go inside, we can use the air, the breath. The more we breathe, the more oxygen we have in the body, the more the body's pH levels start to come into alignment, the more the body starts to heal. The more you come into alignment, it shifts the emotions that are imprinted. So many times, this is the way the system works. If you do the breath work and you are consciously desiring to release these trapped emotions inside of you, you may notice that an emotion comes up and it makes you cry, and then all of a sudden you have a memory, and that memory is tied into this entire system. So then you have to unpack the entire memory, throw all the attachments off, and then 1, 2, 3, it's never 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 3, you have to, it's okay for me to have this experience. I forgive myself for having this experience. You have to let it go. You have to release resistance. That's part of releasing resistance, is letting go of all of the emotions that you are holding from that experience. 76% of all memories, science is telling us, is faulty. That's not actually true. It's not how it works. It works where we are encoded in our own timeline bubbles. That timeline bubble is your memory grid complex outside of your body, and that really, it holds all the memories, all of the imprints, all of the emotions. So when we start to go into that and we start to remove or heal all of that stuff, what you're doing is you're changing who you are in the now moment. Now, one of the easiest ways to raise your density levels and rise above your attachments, because that's a thing too, you can heal yourself without even touching the attachments. It's a little more tricky to do it that way. And sometimes the cycle repeats, come back around, even if you're in a high frequency. So it is always recommended to go in deep and do the shadow work and release. But when we go in and we release these emotions, it has the potential to slingshot us. And I tell you guys this because I've had experiences. I know what it feels like. It feels like you go from tired and like lacking energy to tons of energy. You're re-encoding the body with so much love and light that you feel like $1 million. That's how the system works. So the more and more we can start to focus on negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and we start to cast them off. Now, even inside your mind, when you have thoughts coming in, because we have something called a thought stream. That thought stream reflects all the thoughts out in the ether before it actually hits inside of your mind. Advanced telepathy can start to pick up, and like the star people, they can see my thought stream. They know what thoughts are going to come in before they hit my mind, before I even have time to speak. They're able to reprogram the thoughts in the thought stream so that it's a very streamlined channeling, or they're able to step into my body and energetically take over and channel through me. Or there's another way. They're able to send me words inside my mind as if it's the voice of me inside my mind, except they laugh and they giggle in ways that I don't do. So you know when it's them. It's cute. It's adorable. So there's many different ways that we can tune into the system. It doesn't matter which way each of us chooses to do. In time, it'll be unlocked for always. But once again, the body, the mind, the spirit, everything works like a muscle. So the more we put our focus and attention on doing something, the more and more it's going to manifest into our reality. Focus on learning your emotions. How does it make you feel? The more and more you start to just calm the body down, sit. How does this emotion make my body feel? What emotion do I feel reflected in the inside of me? What emotion do I feel reflected on the outside? Some emotions, it can generate heat. When we get embarrassed, your cheeks may turn red and you may generate heat. That's actually one way that we're able to start to control the body's thermostat. It's by summoning up different emotions, which allow for different biological experiences to manifest. That's a lot of fun, because let's say you're freezing cold outside. You could just stop, take a deep breath in, think, feel embarrassed, and then your chi energetics will fire up. In time, You will learn to summon the opposite polarity emotion to embarrassed. The opposite polarity emotion code still reflects the same exact internal circumstance frequency into your biological form. We just wish to correct this one thing. When you summon the higher frequency emotion, it generates the same response. So you do not have to summon a lower vibrational emotion code, dear ones. We also wish for each of you to just make the slightest intent that any dark emotion or thought that comes into your awareness, you will ever so gently start to say, release. You may say this from your heart, release, ever so gently inside of your mind. And that's okay too, dear ones. And we are sending many, many love and blessings as we end tonight's channeling session. Thank you for joining us. Excellent. Thank you, dear star people, for this beautiful channeling tonight. And thank you for bringing forward the best information that was most aligned for all the people watching. Beautiful, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on tonight's episode of Starseed Activations. Thank you guys for coming to the Shadow Work Zoom tonight. Those of you guys want to come. In order to come, if you need the Shadow Work Zoom link, you must send an email through daniellelipton.com. That is the only thing that I check right before the shadow work. So I send out a Zoom link. It's good for all of the shadow work Zooms. Come join us. We do energy clearings. We do channeling the star people. Any questions, whatever you guys really want to focus on, the chat box is open. Come join us. And this is, we make one tribe. That's why we come together to heal. And so, dear ones, we also wish to do another recalibration. We are just simply going to do 2 final ohms. Deep breath in. And one more. Deep breath in. We are now, ever so gently, dear ones, activating each one of your energetic grids, allowing us to activate your highest potential timelines. Each of you in alignment with unity consciousness, we shall be sending enhanced frequencies to allow your biological forms to manifest a samsava, which is a solar flash, allowing for humanity's evolutionary process to transpire. Unity consciousness, we summon you, and we thank you for healing the children of light. Deep breath in. And we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Good night. Excellent. You guys have a wonderful night, and I love you all. Excellent.